no shortage of statistics that I wish people knew. In thinking about this, there are two that are probably less known than some of the other more appalling statistics in terms of lack of access to safe drinking water, sanitation, and hygiene. But I'm reminded of the statistic that roughly about 80% of the water that is discharged to rivers, then in turn oceans, is untreated. So as you think about really two things, water quality, which is often ignored compared to water scarcity, and the connectivity between fresh water and oceans, that's a really important statistic for me. And the second one that I think is probably not very well known is that roughly about 60 million Americans don't trust their tap water. And, we're very fortunate to live in a country here that delivers most of the time access to safe drinking water. But the fact that roughly about 60 million Americans still don't trust their tap water says a lot about what has to change, and that's technology change and public education and awareness. So I think those are the two that I would leave everyone with that are hopefully a little bit unusual and get people to think differently about water, which leads me to a second point on how do I want people to think differently, see differently. Water is an issue. Water is invisible, whether it's surface water or groundwater. People really don't understand that water does not come from the tap. It comes from a watershed, or it comes from groundwater, and in particular, groundwater is invisible. And if water is invisible, we tend not to value it, I would say. And, couple that with the incredibly low price of water. For me, that's how I would like to see people think differently about water and value it accordingly. What gives me hope? I'm a self-declared optimist. I would say not a reckless optimist, but one that believes that we can do better all the time. I view myself as the enemy of the status quo and really strive to get the word out and mobilize people and get them to really understand the value of water and that it's probably the most precious resource we have available. So for me, and imagine not being an optimist and not having hope. And I believe that I'm very fortunate. I work with a number of colleagues and friends that are doing everything they can to solve wicked water problems. And, it's certainly achievable in my lifetime. At least I certainly hope so. So I would like to pass this along to my dear friend and fellow unreasonable person in the nicest way, Nusha Ajami. So Nusha, this is to you. And my glass says, Save the Ales, which is an event that was sponsored by Water Conservation Colorado a number of years ago, and all the incredibly great craft breweries here in Colorado. So think about the value of water, and Nusha, it's all yours.